For decades, India's most sensitive strategic weapons lived behind a thick government wall. DRDO designed them, state-owned companies helped build them. Private firms supplied components, but the core remained tightly controlled. That wall is now being partially opened. DRDO has invited Indian private companies to become development and production partners for projects inside its missiles and strategic systems cluster, the organization behind strategic missile programs, including Agni. Now, this does not mean Tata, L&T or Adani will start manufacturing nuclear warheads. Nuclear command remains with the state. But private industry could get much deeper into the machinery that delivers strategic weapons. The question is, why is India suddenly bringing private players into its most sensitive weapons category? How will India protect its nuclear secrets? And could this dramatically expand India's missile production capacity? Here is what DRDO actually announced. India's Defence Research and Development Organization has issued an expression of interest, inviting private companies to qualify for projects under its Department of Missiles and Strategic Systems. This department handles some of India's most closely guarded weapons, the Agni series of nuclear-capable ballistic missiles and future variants of nuclear weapon systems, including submarine-launched missiles. Until this announcement, the entire category was reserved exclusively for government labs and public sector units. This move builds directly on an earlier shift. Under the Defence Acquisition Procedure 2026, the Ministry of Defence ended Bharat Dynamic Limited's long-standing monopoly on tactical missile production back in June. 10 to 12 tactical missile projects, including the Pralay quasi-ballistic missile, the Nasam SR anti-ship missile and the Rudram series, were distributed among public and private firms like Adani Defence, Bharat Forge, ICOM and Solar Defence. That was tactical missiles. Now, DRDO is expanding the same logic to strategic, nuclear-linked systems, a much bigger and more sensitive leap. Here's the mechanism. Private companies will be shortlisted based on technical and financial criteria before being considered for specific DRDO projects. For each project, at least 2 companies will be selected under what's called a development-cum-production partner model. This isn't a free-for-all. Companies need proven financial stability, existing manufacturing capacity, and the necessary licenses just to be in the running. DRDO retains control over design and specifications. Private firms become industrial partners inside a tightly regulated framework, not independent weapons manufacturers. Now, this is the part that needs clarity. This is not private companies being handed unrestricted permission to manufacture nuclear weapons. The initiative concerns strategic missiles and bomb delivery systems and future nuclear-related platforms, with private firms operating strictly within DRDO's development and production framework. The real shift is that private industry becomes part of the industrial supply chain supporting India's nuclear deterrent, not an independent controller of nuclear weapons programs. The practical case is straightforward. DRDO successfully tested an advanced Agni missile with multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle technology. That was in May. A missile capable of hitting multiple targets from one launch. But testing and mass production are 2 different challenges. Opening production to private industry could let strategic systems move from successful testing to serial production much faster, while multiple manufacturers create competition on cost, quality and delivery timelines. India's current defence self-reliance still sits around 35 to 40%. That's well short of national targets, and this move is designed to close that gap in the country's most critical weapons category. For decades, nuclear deterrent capability meant government labs, government factories and zero private involvement. Now that wall is coming down, one expression of interest at a time. This isn't happening because India suddenly trusts private industry more. It's happening because global tensions, growing armed forces demand and slow production timelines have made the old model too rigid to keep up. If this works, India gets faster missile production, deeper industrial capability, and multiple companies competing to build better systems. If it is mismanaged, India risks diluting control over its most sensitive technology. Either way, the line between government-only and private-capable defense manufacturing in India just moved somewhere it has never moved before.
Nuclear weapon.
The old rules are breaking. Alliances are shifting.
Apologize again to the victims of the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein.
Wars are redrawing maps. Oil routes can shake economies overnight. One election in America can impact markets in Mumbai.
No tax on tips.
One move by China can alter the balance in Asia. One conflict in West Asia can hit every Indian household. This is no longer a distant story. This is our story. Your story. Because for the first time in decades, India is not watching from the sidelines. India is rising. India is negotiating. India is balancing rivals. India is building military strength. India is shaping trade routes. India is becoming central to the new global order. And yet, most global news is still told through someone else's lens. Washington's lens, Beijing's lens, London's lens. But where is India's lens? Where is the platform that explains the world from our perspective? Welcome to India's Axis, a new destination for geopolitics, strategy and power seen through India's eyes. From Neighborhood Watch to the biggest global stories that matter to you. Why tensions in the Taiwan Strait matter to India. How one move by China can affect India's security. What turmoil in Pakistan means for regional stability. How Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Bhutan shape India's neighborhood. Why oil choke points can hit your wallet. How wars abroad can reshape India's security. This is not noise. This is not shouting. This is not recycled headlines. This is sharp, intelligent storytelling. Daily explainers, war room analysis, strategic conversations. Because news is everywhere, but perspective is rare, and in the age of confusion, clarity is power. Axis is for the audience that wants more than headlines. The axis of global power is shifting. India is at the center of that shift. It's time the world was explained accordingly, to understand the world through India's strategic lens. Subscribe now.